Okay, so welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer and a podcast engineer here, and excited to bring you another episode of the World of Ability that we have every week here on every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central, and about all abilities and everybody can do. And a little bit of my connection, as I do have autism, and I've been part of the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin for the last number of years, and been helping plan a adult autism conference. So this is exciting. That we've going 4 years strong now. But with nothing further ado, we do have a great guest who's joined us today. We met through the Happy Neighborhood Project and is a brainwave entrainment person. So welcome, Morry. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me. It's my absolute pleasure to be here.
So would you like to remind everybody about who you are, what you do?
Sure. So as you can see by my name there, I'm Morry Zelcovitch, and I'm the world's first and only brainwave entrainment engineer. What that means is I use audio, sound in the form of MP3 files and or video in the form of MP4 files to create specific patterns that influence brainwave activity. By influencing your brainwave activity, I help to alter your neural chemistry. And it's your chemistry that lets you feel things. So if you're happy, if you're bored, if you're excited, if you're, turned on, turned off, whatever, you don't actually feel those things unless your brain creates chemistry that acts like a code. Much the same way your phone has different areas when it's turned on that you tap to get specific results, your brain kind of works the same way. It requires certain chemical compositions or electrical currents or whatever that might be involved to create a situation where your brain is able to allow you to experience things. We experience pain not because we're being punished, but pain is there to help us to, bring attention to something that needs help. My arm hurts. Oh no, my arm hurts. My arm hurts. Maybe my bone is sticking out because I broke it. Well, it hurts like hell. I go to a doctor, I go to a hospital, they said it, I'm fine. If it didn't hurt, if my brain didn't give me that message of pain, I may not do anything about it. And if I don't do anything about it, you can imagine what could happen. It could get infected, it would need to be amputated, maybe it would heal improperly, and I'd never be able to use it again. So the brain, I consider to be the central processing unit of your life. And as long as you understand that you're not a hard drive, you're not designed to just look up information, you're designed to process information. And as long as you do that, I believe your life, your career, your business, your relationships will all be so much better. And, when I was a kid, we had to think about things because the only way to get answers would be to drive to a library or walk to a library. Now we have the world's knowledge at our fingertips, which is wonderful, but it makes us lazy. So the work I do helps to inspire the brain to not be lazy. It inspires the brain by exercising it, by making it stronger. And all you need to do is put on a pair of headphones, hit play. That's it. There's nothing else to do. Everything else happens automatically. So I'm not a coach. I'm a scientist, and I create systems that allow you to coach, help yourself. And that's what I'm about, Emily. Thank you very much.
So how long have you been doing this kind of stuff or with this kind of thing?
Well, I was totally, what's the word I would say? I would say I was, well, I can't say I was clinically depressed because I was never diagnosed, but I was what I would call super depressed for about 40 years. And I have multiple suicide attempts as well. The thing is, if you really want to die, one time should have been enough. And it took me 6 times to realize that maybe I don't really want to die. And when I found out that I didn't want to die or that I couldn't find a way to kill myself, I had to find a way to live. And that all started about 45 years ago when I started looking for ways to feel better. So I did all the usual things. I was a drug addict, I was an alcoholic, and I was a sex addict for about, well, for a lot of years. That didn't work. All of that made me worse. Then well, maybe I need help from professionals. So I started seeing doctors and clinicians and, psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers. None of that helped me either. Then I went to see people like naturopaths, homeopaths, naturalistic doctors. That didn't help. Then I tried supplements. That didn't help. Then I tried eye exercise, EMDR and tapping and meditation and hypnosis. And none of that helped either. But what I was realizing was through all of this, throwing the proverbial crap against the wall and seeing what would stick wasn't exactly the right way to go. So, what I decided to do was maybe I need to educate myself. And that's when I started going to what I call the paper internet. Emily, can you guess what I mean by paper internet?
Like an encyclopedia, like books or the that kind of thing,
Ah,
or
very good. Very good. The library,
the
because that's
library.
what they had back then, right? Well, you said it. You
Right.
said paper books. That's it exactly. So I went to the library and I started studying human physiology and brain chemistry and neurology. And I was reading, medical papers and perception and psychology and pretty much any discipline, even quantum physics, anything I could come across that might have something to do with why I felt the way I felt. I thought maybe if I can understand what's going on with me, that might help me to find something to help. Well, I learned a lot and I was learning a lot, but it wasn't really helping until near the end of my search at about the 40-year mark. I came across something called brainwave entrainment. Now, I'd rather say, hey, look, I invented all this, but I didn't. What I did was I reinvented it, though, because when I tried the entrainment that was available, it didn't help me. It should
Oh,
have, though, but it didn't. So I thought maybe I need to change it. So I started changing and reinventing it, kind of reinvented the wheel. And when I did that, it ended up making a massive difference in my life. I used to hear thousands of voices all the time, every waking second. The first time I listened to my first recording, I didn't hear voices for 5 minutes. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but after 40 years, it's a lot. And eventually, I started designing a system to bring myself out even more. And I ended up emailing one of my recordings to a guy whose list I was on. You know how when you're a member of an email list, they usually send you gifts and articles and ads and stuff like that? Well, I decided to turn the tables on this guy and I said, I appreciate some of the stuff you've been sending me. Do you mind if I send you something I created just as a thank you? I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's purely a thank you. He tried it and he's a Chinese national. English is his fifth language and he lives in Singapore.
well,
And when he tried it, he got back to me about a week later and he said, Morry, English is my fifth language. When I used your recording, I understood English better, I remember it longer, and I was reading faster. How would you like to go into business together? At
well,
that time, I was $250,000 in debt, living with my parents, making about $100 a month.
well,
And here I am today, my own business. I have tons of equipment. I create systems. I've got 40 systems currently. I'm working on 50 others, all of which have proprietary techniques or technology that I've invented. Life is a very different animal now because I found a way to optimize my brain and I found a way to out of the depression.
yeah. So the entrainment that you found, like, what was it like? Versus like, and then like, how would you like
Describe
tweak
it.
it or change it to what your things?
So, yeah. So
If that
basically,
makes sense.
it does. It does. So basically, the entrainment that I found didn't work. But basically, brainwave entrainment, that's a good point you bring up. People probably going, what the hell is brainwave entrainment? So, brainwave entrainment takes advantage of natural activity in your brain. So, your brain is made up of billions of neurons, which are cells.
Mm-hmm.
And these cells communicate with each other with pulses of electricity. Now, it's not enough to light up a light bulb. Well, maybe a really, really, really small light bulb, but it's electrical impulses. So you've probably heard of alpha, theta, beta, delta, gamma. These are
Mm-hmm.
just frequency ranges. That's all they are. They don't mean anything else. how many times a second does the neuron pulse that electric frequency? So if it pulses, say, 3 times a second, that would be in the delta frequency. If it pulsed 7 times a second, that would be in the theta. If it pulsed 24 times, it would be beta. If it pulsed 10 times, it would be alpha. And depending on the region of the brain and how many times it pulses that electric impulse, that tells the cell what kind of chemistry to produce. Things like neurotransmitters and endorphins and hormones. And those things are like programming. So those are chemicals that tell your body what to do. They tell your mind what to think. They tell your heart how many times to beat. All these different things happen as a result of this chemistry. So when I expose you with headphones, you put on headphones or bone connection headphones, you basically lie back or you sit with head support. You can't see the head support because I have green over it and I have a green screen, so you don't really see it there. But if you lean back with head support or you lie down, all you do is hit play and you have it at a comfortable volume, and it will, through the process of entrainment, which is basically one frequency following another frequency and mimicking it, then the neurons will start imitating the frequency I'm presenting you with. So if I'm presenting you with something that goes ba 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 ba, eventually your neurons, a, a large quantity of them, will start doing the same thing. They will start pulsing at an electric frequency at that same rate, releasing the appropriate chemistry to make you feel the way we want you to feel. So that's basically how it works. Now, the interesting thing with entrainment is everybody's experienced it, even if they haven't listened to brainwave entrainment or even my brainwave entrainment. Have you ever listened to music you like and you find yourself doing this with your head or tapping your toes? And you're not really trying to do it, you're just doing it. That's a form of entrainment. The music, you're entraining to the beat of the drum or the beat of the bass or the guitar or the cymbals or whatever it is that's beating at a regular rate. When the music is playing, you're moving around. Now, I have no sense of rhythm, so I know I look like an idiot when I do that. But the bottom line is we all tap our toes without thinking about it. We move our head, even dancing. You know, we're moving to the music. That's a form of entrainment. What I do is I take that natural aspect and I direct it specifically at the brain to get the desired results. Better sleep, more calm, more stress reduction, confidence, self-esteem, recovery, you know, anything and everything that the brain has to do with, which, let's face it, is everything, can be made better because I treat the brain like a muscle. And just like any other muscle in your body, if you exercise it and you make it strong and in better condition, you can do more than just lift weights. You know, if I'm lifting weights with my arms and I make my arms big and strong, then that doesn't mean I can just lift more weight. It means everything I do with my arms is going to be better. It's the same thing with your brain. So you use the entrainment to make the brain stronger and more efficient. That makes everything else you do stronger and more efficient as well.
So you would tweak it so just to go to your brain, like what was, yeah. So it was the entrainment from before, like with like everything in the body, or was it?
Well, yeah, because the brain is
Okay.
the nexus of everything in the body. It's everything in the body. It's everything in the mind. The brain is kind of like the central processing unit of everything in your life. So actually, if I slap myself in the face, or if you got up and let's say we were in the same room and you slapped me in the face and you did it really hard and my head flew off to the side like this and then it bounced back. If my brain doesn't create chemistry that, you know, acknowledges that that happened, even though my field of vision changed, even though there was a slap and a sound and the feeling, I wouldn't know it's there. I wouldn't know that I was slapped. I wouldn't know my head flew off to the side. I wouldn't know my head bounced back.
Yeah.
The chemistry has to be produced by the brain. It's just like an app on your phone or a series of apps on your phone. If you want to listen to music on your phone, you open your phone, right? You tap where you need to tap to get to that icon. You tap on the icon, it loads the music. You tap another icon. What kind of music do you want to listen to? And then you adjust the volume. These are all things done by the the neural net, if you will, that exists on your phone. Well, your brain works the same way. Different areas need to be stimulated or tapped, in the case of a phone, in order to achieve specific results. And it's exactly the same thing. Our phones, our computers, our cars, our this, our that, everything that we've ever designed as human beings is based on human mechanics and human psychology, because that's the only model we have. Even the wheel of a car is designed on locomotive theory and concepts that originated from people walking and then running and crawling.
Yeah.
All of these things are the result of human behavior. Computers get better as we better understand the brain and the mind and the neural net. We're getting to the point with AI where you can literally have a conversation with AI, and if you're not careful, you'll forget it's AI because you can speak.
Right.
Perplexity, ChatGPT, these are two examples of AIs that you can actually interact with them by talking. I was talking to Perplexity the other day, and I didn't like the way she was answering. I was using a female voice, so I didn't like the way she was answering. Don't just be so robotic. Like, she wasn't robotic, but she was more serious, more stern, right? So can you be more friendly? And all of a sudden she goes, yeah, I can be more friendly, no problem. Now they pause a little bit, because the way an AI interacts with you by voice is it takes the voice, it translates it into text, it reads the text, and then it responds. So when you're having a conversation with ChatGPT or with Perplexity or with Pi AI, one of these AIs where you can talk to them, that's what it's doing. So there's a pause. It's like, so how are you doing today? I'm good, Morry, thanks. How are you today? Oh, I'm fine,
Yeah.
thanks for asking. So I need you to help me with something. Can you? Sure, Morry, I'll help. What do you want? So there's always that little pregnant pause in between while it translates it to text, and then takes the text, reads what it says, and then converts that to some language it can talk back. But ChatGPT is coming up with a language model now that they're releasing to most of the paid members. Will have it by the end of the fall, where it doesn't translate it into text. It will be able to understand you as you talk. So I'll be able to say, hey, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? It'll answer right away. And if it starts getting wordy in its answer, I can interrupt it, just like I could interrupt you, or you could interrupt me. But it's brilliant, because think about all the
Yeah.
lonely people out there, and they just want to talk. They want to have someone to talk to. It's going to be a little bit hard for some people, because they're going to blur the lines of a person. Are they real? Because I'll tell you, emotionally, when you hear them talking, they sound like people.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. But for some people, for veterans, for elderly people, it could be a lifesaver and a sanity keeper, because it gives people someone to talk to. And you can ask them anything. I had the longest conversation I've had with AI so far is probably 2.5 hours, maybe
Oh,
three
wow.
hours. Yeah, I was talking about simulation theory with her. Simulation theory is the idea that we live in a simulation, that life isn't really life. We're actually like Tron, or like the Matrix. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what we're like. And it's all a matter of programming. It's really quite interesting to get into it, especially with an AI. But you could talk about
Yeah.
anything with an AI. It might be interesting for you, maybe once a month or something, to do an interview with AI.
Yeah.
As long as you give credit to the AI, you're allowed to
Yeah.
do it. It's legal to do it. You don't want to let
Yeah.
people think that you're talking to a real person, though.
Right.
So, anyway, I'm using AI in my business now, because it's helping me to come up with better ways of doing things. And I can do things faster now. But
Yeah.
basically, my work optimizes the human mind. AI is a great sounding board. Like, let's say you have a business and you want to do a sales pitch. Hey, AI, I have a business and I want to do a sales pitch. My business is this. This is what I'm trying to sell. Can you listen to my sales pitch? And as you're listening, when I ask you questions or when it's appropriate, I want you to speak and act like you're a difficult client I'm trying to sell. Then, when I'm done my sales pitch, whether you've bought it or not, I want you to give me a review. Tell me if I did a good job or if I didn't do a good job. Tell me if I what I could improve on, how I could make my presentation better. And it'll do it. And remember, AI has the knowledge of society in it for the most part. It has professional writers, it has professional salespeople, it has all this knowledge that you and I don't have, but it can access it like that.
Right.
So, I optimize the brain and I give human intelligence the boost. AI can also give human intelligence a boost, but only if people don't abuse it and don't rely on it. Use it as a helper,
Right.
not as your leader. So
Right.
anyway, I got off on a little tangent there. I apologize.
No worries. That's all good.
Yeah, well,
Um, but yeah, this is awesome.
thank you.
Um, I like the graphics behind you. Is it those graphics
That was done by
or
that was
those
done by
actual
AI
screens
as well.
behind you?
Yeah, a lot of people think that that's my office, right? But it's actually I made it in AI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering if that was really your real background or not, but yeah, it's sort of, yeah.
Here we go. Here, I'll show you some of the backgrounds I've made in AI because they're kind of cool. So here's another one. This is one of my faves. It's a little busy though. Generally, I have to wear a darker shirt because I kind of blend in with that. Kind of like this one too. This is a cool one, but some people are uncomfortable because they think I'm cutting people's heads open and stealing their brains. This one's good, you know. And then I have some more artistic, some more calm ones, like this one, for instance, or this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
These are more lower key, right?
Yeah. Somebody wouldn't think you're cutting somebody's head
Yeah, they
off.
won't think I'm cutting people's brains out. So, but I like coming up with new ones. I love thinking. Really, that's what I'm about. My work helps people to exercise the muscle that is their brain, and I want people to realize their brain is not a hard drive. It is a central processing unit. It is designed to be used to think. So I don't care if people believe what I say, and quite frankly, they shouldn't believe what I say because I'm not them. You're you. All I want to do is inspire you to think. That's all. I don't want you to believe what I believe. My universe is different from your universe. Words mean different things to me than they mean to you. You had different parents, different schooling, different religious upbringing, different this, different that. You had a different lunch. We didn't even have the same lunch. So for me, it's more important that people think than that they agree with me. I'm not here to share my wisdom because I don't think I have any. I just want to inspire thought. If I can inspire thought, I'm doing okay. And
Yeah.
if I can inspire Kurt to get on camera, then I'm doing even better. Yay!
Look who's here, Kurt. Yeah, I got Morry to show up.
Yeah.
You did,
Oh,
She sent a signal. She sent up the bat signal, and I saw it in the corner of my eye. And I
is
didn't
that
change it
what's,
costume though.
so am I a puppet then? Is that what's going on? Because what was it through your psychokinesis, Emily, that you sent me to the No More 9 to 5 club, and I was with some
Yeah,
wonderful people gathering there, and I put in the chat the meeting ID, and then Maury
yeah,
said, I'll be there. But you probably already twisted his arm. That's probably why.
yeah.
Oh,
The teaming up on me like that, I couldn't resist.
right?
yeah.
It's like a Morry
Yeah.
sandwich with a slice of Emily and
Yeah,
a slice of Kurt.
there you are. Exactly. A piece of rye and
Yeah.
a piece of sourdough. And
Who's
I
the
just need a little. Yeah, I love sourdough bread. It's my favorite. Although I like rye too.
I
So
love
anyway,
both of those. I'm rye and
yes.
sourdough, so you're talking my language, bro.
Actually, that's an interesting concept, isn't it? Rather than having two of the same type of bread in a sandwich. Well, I think we just invented something. That's cool.
We're messing with our heads in every way you can.
Yeah, maybe. How's this? Corned beef, pastrami, salami, ham, turkey, and chicken, and rye and sourdough,
Oh, well.
and mustard up here, and mayo down here, and pickles in the middle. I'm getting hungry.
We'll call it the Morry Many Story Sandwich.
There you go. Call it indigestion.
AKA for short, the nickname indigestion.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
wonderful. Well, Morry, I purposefully inserted about the No More 9 to 5 Club because I am just really seeing, the springboard and the business incubation and really getting down to the nitty gritty of, what's needed out there for people to be able to sit at their house, sit in any office they put together, sit in their cubicle, whatever they got going on, sit in their truck,
Sit on the toilet.
yeah, wherever people need to be.
Hey, I've been in business meetings. I got to tell you, and everybody out here, it's hilarious. I've been on business meetings where people forgot in Zoom, for instance, that they were like, they kind of forgot that they were on the can, so to speak. We all know what that means, right? And I saw a guy, literally, you could see his hand holding his phone, right? Like you could see his arm up, so you knew he was holding his phone, and the phone slipped. And as it fell, you could see the toilet. You could see his pants on the floor. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Candid camera. Candid.
Yeah. No. Yeah, literally candid camera. Candid. Yeah, actually, that works perfectly. That's very, very swift of you, Kurt. There you go. So, yeah, 9 to 5 Club. We were talking about engagement, right? And talking about getting people to be aware of these things that exist out there to help them. And the cool thing about the 9 to 5 Club is they have a free membership, which is free or complimentary, as my friend James Feldman would say. And then they have a basic membership for $28 a month. What's that? Nothing, right? Now, when was the last time you heard of a professional membership for under $100? But they have a professional membership for under $100. I'm thinking people need to know about this because everybody else wants to charge you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 for the same thing that these guys do. Because this guy does okay in his life. He's not out to rip anyone off. He just wants to help people. So the No More 9 number 2 5 the number 5 club.org org. And that is a great place to go to get out of the 9 to 5 rut. And if you have a new business or even an old business that's kind of flipping around on the floor like a fish out of water, this is the place to go. I went there. They created for me a fantastic website called Mind Trainer Pro, where I can market peak performance systems of mine. It's easily the best looking website I have. Easily. And they set up an affiliate system and everything. Now, admittedly, it wasn't $95 a month to get all that done, but it was still professionally done, and it was done a lot cheaper than it would have cost me anywhere else, too. Plus, they have VA lending services. They have everything. I know I kind of sound like I'm doing a commercial for them, but honestly, they were there for me when I needed someone to not rip me off, but to actually care and be concerned about what they're doing. So they take responsibility too. It's not like, give me $2,500 a month, and after 6 months you go, why did I pay you? Well, we tried. Bye. In the meantime, I'm going to keep your $2,500 a month. That's not these guys. These guys actually give a crap. And I encourage anyone who wants. I don't get anything for this, by the way. You'll notice I didn't give you an affiliate ID. So I don't get anything for this. I'm just sharing something that helped me. So hopefully it helps everybody out there too.
Yeah, and Emily's working on an event that'll be October 24th. And it would be good to talk to our friends at the No More 9 to 5 Club to see if anybody wanted to come in. Because with what you said, the No More 9 to 5 Club was there for you to not be ripped off, to not have an
Yeah.
overcharge, just not that more of an
Yeah.
expense than what you needed to at that point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're going with this event. Christian Mendez with EC Marketing for All, gave us this theme for the event to look at, precautionary things that we need to do to protect ourselves, our technology, our loved ones, our businesses, so this, risk management area is a little bit of the sphere of what this event is going to be about. So that would be a good sharing if anybody from No More 9 to 5 Club, any of the members or whatever, and if they have a business that has a way to enter that trajectory with us. We welcome everybody to come in. Emily's setting it up for Emily. I believe it's a 6-hour time range, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on October 24th, and we're going to be back here on Zoom, and Emily's going to be portraying and demonstrating a virtual event platform and a co-working space called Easy Expo. And so we have an Ability Fest entry there that people can enter into our event Ability Fest and benefit from everything it's doing. And wow, it sounds like you say, Morry, like this would be a big price ticket. No, it's complimentary.
Yeah.
It's complimentary. So we got a complimentary event that people can then coordinate with Emily to have a complimentary virtual booth space, and people can coordinate with her now, to go ahead and get a complimentary booth space immediately and get some exposure while we're promoting the event. Everything else we do, say No More 9 to 5 Club. I mean, Emily, she's like 9 to 5. That's not enough. Emily does 7 to 9, 7 a.m. to 9
Wow.
p.m. Monday through Friday. And then Saturdays, she starts at 7 and keeps her kicking till 7. So 7 to 7 on Saturdays. And then Sundays, she kicks in at 12:30 with her shakedown photo and shakedown social, and then keeps it going through. We have our buddy with the World Referral Network and Trigger. He does a 6 p.m. Show called Rock the Stage. And with that, and sometimes there's even something that pops up after that. So Emily's working like 60 hours a week.
Yeah, if you count that or the listen program, it's now once a month. Yeah, it's going to about that time too.
8 p.m. Eastern, Emily?
Yeah, I was talking about if you count Trigger and then the listen program, like once a
The listen
month.
programs after Rock the Stage, right? Or same time?
Well, it's like an hour after Trigger.
Yeah. Well, after the start. So Trigger
Yeah.
goes for his hour, and then we roll right into the listen program. What do you think
Yeah,
about
once a month thing, yeah.
Morry, does that sound good? The listen program? You don't know what it is, do you?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sitting here
Yeah,
going,
well,
how should I be reacting? I have no idea what they're saying. Are they speaking English? I don't even know.
it's Australian, actually. We're speaking Australian.
Oh, lovely.
So, but I'm
Sorry, that
thinking
was
listen program could be a segue for brainwave entrainment, actually, Morry. So, Emily, I would recommend that you share some more biographical details from the listen program and let Morry take a look to see if it fits into his engineering schematic. I think it does.
sure. I'd love to listen. I'd love to listen to more about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if you've ever Matter heard of Sean Batha?
I have not.
So he is kind of in this like sound, like music kind of realm as well. Gary, can you help me? I'm not sure if I can totally explain Sean's thing, but it's kind of like with sound and music and that kind of thing, though, right?
Yeah, Sean is well into the realm of TV, film, radio production. You know, he's branching off with this, expanding, you know, what he does in live streaming, video production. And
Oh,
So is Kurt blacking out, or is that my connection?
no, he's freezing a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, he's in Wisconsin, right? Maybe it's cold there today.
I think it's really nice out today, actually. The sun's
is
out.
yeah, the listen program is a lot what it sounds like to build up your listening capacity and, you know, the dynamics of listening and considerations that, you know, it's not a one size fits all listening experience. You know, if I listen to Emily, that's a certain dynamic. If I listen to Morry, that's, you know, listening to Sean. You know, as we listen to people, if we consider all 8 billion people, you know, if someone has a stutter, you know, if someone is a windbag like myself, you know, I mean,
Yeah. I don't want to be recognized anymore, so I'm going to put these on. There we go.
right, right. So you get the idea, Morry. But I'm thinking the listen program, and then you basically have a listen program, Morry.
I have a program you listen to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you listen to it. So I'm saying like it's a segment. I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
a segment that when Sean goes into all the stuff he does, and then in the realm of his listen program, there's a splice of it that becomes a segue to that they can put on those headphones and listen to what you provide.
I'm more than open to provide content and value if I can. And to learn about new things too. I'm always open to learning.
So Murray, maybe I can do an introduction between you and Sean, and you can get something going here.
All right, so Morry, we have a tremendous opportunity coming up here. I'm going to trust that Marianne is going to come back on here, and you know, she'll come in here with a head of steam. So maybe we can get ahead of that a little bit. I want to, since she popped on and she's working on her technology connection, let's set the stage for what she's coming in for. Let me ask the question, Morry. Here at World of Ability, we attend to the deaf and hard of hearing community. So if somebody is 100% a person with deafness, to me, your technology still works if
Yes,
someone
it does.
has zero hearing.
Yes.
All right. Can you explain that a little bit? I think that's a great way to understand your technology when people are like, really? How does that work? Well, what is it?
Yeah. Well, here's the reason, because nobody hears anything anyway. You're not hearing me now. Emily's not hearing me. When you guys are speaking, you know, I'm not hearing you either. Sue never hears you. Or let me rephrase that. She never listens to you. That's why you guys are happy to that's why you guys are happy together, because you're not paying attention.
She said, looking at me in shock over here in the other room. You know?
But basically, what happens is, you know, there's that old riddle. If a tree falls in the forest, like let's run this by you guys. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a noise? So, Emily, does it make a noise? Yes or no? If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe that's interesting. I'll accept that. That's okay. Kurt, how about you?
I would say absolutely. If that tree falls, it produces noise. Absolutely.
Okay. So I would assume I won't answer for you, but I'll ask you again. So, Emily, you first again. If a tree falls in the forest and this time there is someone there to hear it, does it make a noise? Are we going to get another maybe? Fair enough. No, that's okay. That's a good answer. Kurt, how about you? Are you unfrozen enough to be able to answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna say absolutely. That tree falls.
Okay. Actually, it doesn't make a noise in either case. Neither am I, as a matter of fact. Put your hand on your speaker right now, whether you're on a phone or a computer while I'm talking. You're going to feel something. It's called vibration. That's what a voice is. It creates vibration. And your brain, through your ear and the tissues in your head and your skull and everything else, they vibrate and they react to the vibration. That vibration is what your brain takes and interprets as sound. That's how sound operates. Sound doesn't actually exist. If you two, Emily and Kurt, could put SD cards in your head, like in your ear, and let's say you had writers, like a way to write to an SD card, and you could write exactly how you hear my voice when I'm speaking, both of you would have slightly different recordings because of the differentiation of how your brain is interpreting the vibration that is being created by my voice. So what that means is that when the tree falls in the forest, it creates vibration, not creating sound. So no one hears anything ever. There's not a life form on this planet that actually hears anything. It's all about their little brains. And I'm talking about people now, not insects. It's all about how their little brains interpret the vibration. Like put your hand on your chest when you talk, put your hand over on your chin, on your face. You'll feel vibration every time you say something. That sound you hear is your brain's interpretation of that vibration. So now that we understand that there's no such thing as sound, doesn't really exist, hearing doesn't exist either. Now what we can do is we can look at someone who has no perception of sound. They're deaf in either one ear or the other ear or both. As long as there's connected tissue between here and the brain gets the vibration. It's not interpreting that vibration the same way, but it's still getting the vibration. So my work is about vibration. So you hear beat nothing, like bump, 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 bump. Your perception of that sound has no bearing at all on the effect of entrainment. The entrainment is the result of the vibration. Your cells are still going to vibrate. It doesn't matter if you hear it or not. Most of the time I run a session, I go into an altered state. I'm not even aware of the beats. Every night when I go to sleep, I put on bone conduction headphones and I listen to a recording called Good Night, Sleep Well. When I'm sleeping, I don't hear the tones. It's the vibration that gets me into the state. Within a couple of minutes, I'm asleep. I don't hear the bump, 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 bump sound. Doesn't need to be heard. That's why I have clients who are deaf in one ear or both ears, and they claim that they get results. Because again, it's about the vibration. It's not about the perception of sound.
All right, so just to dive in here and to take my analytical run through of what you're claiming here. I'm going to go to the dictionary. I went on Google and I just put in noise definition, and dictionary brought up here from Oxford Languages noise.
Are we supposed to be seeing what you're looking at?
I think so. His computer's taking a little bit to load.
I think Kurt should turn off his video. There you go.
All right, so it says sound, especially one that is loud or unpleasant or that causes disturbance, making a noise like a pig in a trough.
Never heard that before. But that's a definition of noise. That's not a definition. That's not what. Ask the question, and don't ask it to Google because Google's useless. Go to ChatGPT or go to Perplexity or go to Anthropic and say, how do we perceive like what is the actual mechanics behind perceiving sound?
Now you're proposing to ask
What,
anything.
yeah, ask
Oh,
what are the mechanics behind perceiving sound? Because
what
that's really what
are
the
the
question is.
mechanics around perceiving sound?
Sound. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Let me change this to give perplexity the correct spelling of perceiving. Here we go. What are the mechanics? Answer: the perception of sound involves a complex process that begins with sound waves
Or vibration.
entering. Correct. Yeah, sound waves are vibration, absolutely. And ends with the brain interpreting neutral signals.
Or neural signals. Take your pick. That's basically what I said, except it didn't say it in English. Your brain interprets the vibration, and that's what you perceive as sound. That's basically exactly what it says.
Yep.
Learn something new every day, huh? You want to
That's
know
right.
what's funny about that? What's really funny about that was my theory all along. And I've been telling that to people for like decades, like probably 40 years. Very few people believe me. I just looked it up about a year ago. It just made too much sense to me. So I just assumed that I was right. And then when I looked it up and I hit enter, it's like, holy shit, what if I'm wrong and I've been shitting people all this time? And then I was right on the money. I was so impressed with myself, quite frankly. That doesn't happen a lot that I'm impressed with myself.
Well, to me, Maury, there's two sides of this. I mean, to me, you and all like perplexity and everything that this brings up definitely is making a point and describes the truth. Absolutely.
Well,
And
our idea, our concept of our understanding, I wouldn't call it truth. I would say that is our current understanding.
well, there
Because
too.
that
There,
information could change, right?
yeah. See, to me, this is what happens in conversation: is that there's multiple parts of what was expressed. So I say we're speaking at a truth. And then you say, no, not a truth. And it's like, well, you're not really arguing about it being a truth. You're just saying we can describe it better for the entirety of what I said. Yes.
Sure.
So to me, that's the nebulous thing about it, is you can take a part of it and say
Sure.
that, um, I was trying to hit at what I'm pulling out of it is that we're speaking at a truth. Because what I'm trying to break down here is I went to electrical and computer engineering school at the University of Wisconsin, Madison,
Yeah.
and in calculus and so forth, in physics and in the electrical engineering classes, we use what's called a Fourier series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is a Fourier series, the whole evolution of coming up with that, or kind of to get the basis of, what are electrical engineers doing with a Fourier series? The concept is a white noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you have a differentiation of all vibrations, everything in the electromagnetic field,
Sure.
and that's what you're analyzing. So like the microphone we're speaking into, uses the technology created through the Fourier series, and having electrical circuits kind of say, okay, that's base, that's the baseline, that's the ground, type thing. And actually, and then everything is a variation from that white noise Fourier series.
That is
So
correct.
when you ask that question, you're talking about vibration, everything, and then you talk about sound or noise. Now you're getting into semantics.
Well, no,
And
it's actually how the brain processes the vibration. Because without the brain processing that vibration, you don't have sound or noise. It doesn't exist.
That's why I'm calling it.
It's a perception. But it's not semantics, because semantics is the way of saying something. It's like a different meaning. It's a different this. The understanding is that without the brain translating the vibration into sound, noise, whatever, then it does not exist.
Yeah, so you're getting very scholastic, very scientific.
Well, I have to be, because otherwise I don't have the proper effect on the brain, right? And what I do is totally affecting the brain. If I don't have an understanding that is reasonable for that, then it won't work. So my understanding is that without the brain processing and interpreting, it doesn't exist. The brain has to interpret that noise, that vibration. You can call it noise, but when you drill it down, it's vibration. Everything is vibration. Your cells in your body all vibrate at a frequency. Your heart vibrates. Everything vibrates. A vibrator vibrates, right? Everything vibrates at different frequencies. So the idea is, for me, it's understanding the dynamics behind how the brain works, how the brain perceives things, so that I can inspire it to perceive different things.
All right, Morry, we are getting segue after segue because we're talking
this
about.
This is interesting. I like this.
Yeah, we're talking about sound and vibrations and the experience of the ears. And here we have Dan Wesley White.
Hi, Dan.
He's da 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 da. He's a musician. He's with a band.
Beautiful.
So Dan, do you want to describe your vibration, your practice of music, about your band, and about everything you're putting out there, working with the Disability Channel? I'm going to give a little bit of an autobiography about what you're doing, producing vibrations.
Well, a little bit about me is I'm a musician, did 9 years in the Army. I was actually in the Army band for 9.5 years. So I went on world tour on Uncle Sam's dime, and went back after I got out, got my degree. So now I'm a music teacher in South Texas. And yeah, sound and vibration, you got to have a source, you got to have air to carry the current, and then you have to have something to receive it. That's basic sound 101. Except we just do it a little bit louder through amplifiers.
I like that.
So yeah, my thing is now I've recently started writing and recording my own music. So one of the songs I did was called 22, which is about veteran suicide. So I'm really promoting that, trying to get the word out there for people to reach out and get the help they need before, doing something drastic. I mean, I've faced my demons and stuff before, but luckily I've had music to fall back on to help me out. So now it's just a matter of helping other veterans out. In fact, I have an event I'm going to today, a RUC 22 march, for that very reason, PTSD awareness and veteran suicide, that they're doing a 7-mile road march with military packs and stuff on. And so I'm going to be participating in that. And then they've asked me to sing my song afterwards, my 22 song. So that's what I'm doing later today.
Welcome, Santa.
Hi guys, how are we doing today?
Hey, Santa's all about good vibrations, right?
Dan, it sounds like you're on a good mission, and if you had, I've got your back on it because I'm creating a list. I think we talked a little bit about it last week. So I did the official launch on Tuesday, and I bought the domain name Tuesday night. So I'm getting pretty serious about this, and now talking to people and get it going. So I back you up, and I'll get you on the list, and we'll see where we take this list, because it's going to it's a much needed thing across the country.
Yes.
Yeah, Morry, you're on that other list, the naughty list. This is a different list, Morry.
Hey, Morry, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Santa. How are you, man?
It's been an interesting Saturday already. Got some things done, got some meetings done, talked to some people, made some people giggle and laugh. So I'm off to a good start.
Yeah, you definitely are. You always bring a smile to my face. So there you
Well,
go.
I appreciate that. I try my best. We all know that this world is in a goofy way of hurting right now, and if we can all step up to the plate and even do one little thing for the next person beside us, you never know what kind of smiles you're going to create, or better yet, what kind of a positive, happy, joyful memory you're going to create for that next person.
Yeah, the pay it forward is really important nowadays, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be other ways, Dan. You know, the just stepping up to the plate and volunteering and saying hello. I just did my daily video, and two parts of my daily video that I emphasize is thank a veteran for their service. I mean, what does that do to hurt us? It doesn't cost us a nickel, doesn't cost us a dime, but thanking a veteran for your freedom and your ability to do whatever the hell you want to do is because someone else put their life on the line and they didn't hesitate to do it. Number two is say hello to a senior. You know, sometimes seniors get bottled up in their houses and they don't have conversation with people for 2, 3, 4, 5 days sometimes, which is really unfortunate. But you see a senior in this out and about at a grocery store. How much does it cost you to say, "Hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Can I open the door for you? Can I carry a bag for you?" Or, even, "Are you having a good day? Do you need to have a conversation?"
Yeah, one of the things we do is here at my school, we take the bands out, the kid bands, and we go to all the nursing homes and try to liven up the nursing home community, because a lot of those people, they're bedridden or they're stuck there and they need to hear, music,
Absolutely,
festive music,
absolutely.
and they'll go on with stories like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I might be more knowledgeable than some of you guys for the seniors. My mother was a director of nursing for a nursing home for 25 years. But I remember even her saying that there are some of these seniors that, unfortunately, whatever the circumstances may happen, they get dumped off into these nursing homes and they never get any visitors. So
Right.
by you bringing the band, boy, that's like bringing the whole town to them, because they they only get to visit with the people that are in the nursing homes, and if they're angry and confused and upset with the world, maybe they don't want to converse or have a conversation with the other people in the nursing home. But if the nurses bring them out, or the people bring them out to a public room where a band is playing, that could change their whole day, their whole week.
Mhm.
When my dad was in a home, my brother and I took alternate days to visit, and we'd spend hours there, like 5, 6 hours each day.
Yeah,
And you could
yeah,
just see the eyes on all the people there thinking, why him? Why does he get to have visitors all the time?
yeah.
Mhm.
It's really
Now, my
unfortunate.
dad probably didn't even want us to visit on that much, but still, you
But
know,
Maury, you realize that time is precious. Time is a gift.
the worst thing you can have is a regret, because there's nothing you can do about a regret.
The old famous saying is coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Mhm.
How many people say that tomorrow about yesterday?
Oh, nicely put. Yeah,
You know? And it's the
that's true.
little things that we do for someone else that can make a whole day have a different outlook.
One of the things I like is how seeing it's a kind of it's a new medical field actually you can go into called music therapy, and
Yeah.
it's amazing people with dementia and all those kind of brain altering diseases, when you play music that they knew from a kid, they come back to themselves while you're playing that song and they start remembering. You just see the light go on in their eyes, and so that's kind of what I'm into also, just spreading music around, just trying to bring people their
Absolutely.
better lives.
Yeah. And again, you know, people have told me that's why I've changed some of my marketing strategies too. I'm going after the dementia, the Alzheimer's, the nursing homes, because I have the look of the 30s, 40s Santa. People are telling me exactly what you said with music. You know, I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to bring out some memories of their childhood, of their younger times that they can bring back that they don't always necessarily talk about. And I had the very experience with my mother before she passed. My dad had to go surgery, so my brother and my sister and myself got to take turns, like you, more. We got to take turns and go visit with mom and spend time because she was starting to get dementia, and you know, the cool thing about it for my father was mom being the director of a nursing home. She was able to explain to my father the different stages of dementia that were going to happen, and it made accepting it for my father a lot easier. But one week, when I went to spend time with my mother, of course, the giggle was, why is my beard white and my hair still blonde? And of course, you explain, well, you know, God is created that way. I don't know. And then, of course, 10 minutes later, she'd be asking the same question again. So you'd have to explain it again. But one of the things I did get out of her is mom was from Glasgow, Scotland. And Glasgow is a big shipbuilding community. And she lived through the Battle of the Blitz. And she told me she lived on, I guess her father, my grandpa, was a custodian at a school. So they had a little schoolhouse on the property that they lived in. So the bombers were directed not to bomb schools or residential areas. They were going after the shipbuilding and the parts of the warehouses and stuff that would affect the shipbuilding. So one time I'm sitting there listening to her and she's telling me stories of going through the bombing, the war, and at the end of it, after I got mom to bed, I had to phone my brother and sister up. Hey guys, have you ever heard this story? Because this is the first time I heard this story, and I mean that's what dementia does. It collapses the short term memory, but it enhances the long term. So I got to hear some stories that I had never heard. So that was the only positive I got out of, you know, that time with mom. I mean, there was many more, but that was one of the stories that I'm never going to forget. And I tell everybody it can be a pretty nasty disease, but there are the occasional plus out of it. And that's exactly, Dan, what you're doing with the music.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, because it's already proven that music is the only thing we do as humans that makes both halves of the brain work at the same time, where they communicate with each other. And that's the only
Not just music.
Well, music is the one of the big ones that because you're using
Uh,
both.
my whole work does a lot more intricate stuff than that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, there's more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of within your philosophy, as Shakespeare once said. I believe Mary Ann should say something because she's here, and she's the only one who hasn't.
Welcome, Marianne. Are you there to say something?
uh-oh, Marianne, Santa's calling you.
Hola, I'm in the mall, Santo, and it's going to be Viva la Mexico celebration. So, hola, everybody, and
Hola.
and so here I'm listening. I can't really talk. You're going to hear amazing kids that can't wait to get the Acts of Kindness series book, Santa. So, I look forward to speaking with you this week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And hopefully we'll be able to get into the conversation this week that you set up to have a chat. Oh, we
I
lost her.
guess she's back to listen. No, she's back to listening again. So,
Yep. The mall has bigger ears. Hi, Emily. How are you today?
Good. How's Santa today?
Not too bad so far. Working on a big emailing project or a mailing project. Yeah, email project.
Awesome. How's the stories been going?
Going good. Sending my first bot story to Australia. Imagine that.
Oh boy,
Yep.
that's exciting.
Yep. Gentleman's buying it for his grandchildren.
Nice.
That's kind of cool. Have you heard of what I'm doing, Morry, with my stories?
No, but it sounds like you're customizing them for people, which sounds
Well,
very unique.
the back end of the story is all my social media is growing by leaps and bounds, and I'm doing pretty good. And I talked to some friends and said, my YouTube channel, I'm getting some great view action on it. I just went over 110,000 views on it, so that's pretty
Wow.
decent. But I don't have any subscribers, so I said I want to build up my subscribers, and so that more people can share what
Can
I
you
do.
put your YouTube in the chat? I will subscribe and start an avalanche for you.
Well, I appreciate that. Absolutely, I will. But so I told him that I wanted to build up the YouTube channel, and he says, "How big do you want it to build?" And I says, "Let's explode it." And he says, "Well, YouTube algorithm loves children's stories." And I said, "Okay, that sounds like an awesome thing." And he said, "Start reading stories to the children." So I said, then he schooled me on AI and showed me some of the things that AI could do for me, which was pretty cool. And so I started reading the stories. Then the reality of it, Morry, is I was on a networking meeting on a Saturday that I do every Saturday morning, and lucky me, I was with five young ladies, and this was when it was just exploding, just launching, and they said, "Okay, Santa, there you go, Morry."
I put it in too.
Yeah.
I already subscribed.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So the lady said, "Well, take it to the next level." And I said, "Okay, I'm listening." They said, "Customize the story," meaning that I'm reading a story to Morry and his family, but I'm going to input his children's name into that story. Now,
Oh, that's cool.
can you imagine the kids are watching this on the big screen? Because with the technology, you can take the video off your phone and put it on the big screen. And the kids are sitting there watching it on the big screen. And all of a sudden, I look them in the eyes and I call out their names. Can you imagine what the kids are going to do? That, holy crap, Mom, Dad, Santa's saying my names, so it's just another way of creating a very personal magic moment that you can share with your family.
That's brilliant and sweet all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So people are loving the idea. And so I'm hoping that it explodes and people start ordering, because the reality is that we only got about 108 days till Christmas time. And, if I want to make 1,000 of these before Christmas time, people better start ordering now, because the time is going to come up and bite us real quick.
I would get in touch with every shopping mall that you can get in touch of, like get in touch with the corporations that own like 30 shopping malls and 100 shopping malls, and offer that for Christmas. Say, you guys can really go crazy here by offering these custom Santa stories for the kids, and offer to give them like half. People won't expect you to do it for free.
No,
You'll get, it's the Walmart principle, right? You'll do really well because you're going to do a lot of them. I mean, you may end up doing so many that you're going to have to automate it.
Yeah. And that's what I've already had a couple conversations with people with that, in fact, too. And, what I started off talking with Dan with, I've talked to so many veterans, Morry, in the last 2 months, and the sad reality of our wonderful country that, encourages all these young men and women to sign on the dotted line, and they don't hesitate. But then they come back and they got to wait, 6, 8, 10, 12 months for services. So I have been talking to a lot of veterans that have started their own organizations, that have started their own groups, but they don't know about each other because there's no national list out there to say, Fred needs this and he can go to this company, this company, this company instead of going through the VA. Or I don't know how it works. I'm not a veteran, but I know there's a lot of companies and organizations out there that are creating companies that are helping veterans. So I'm on a mission to create a national list of organizations and companies that help provide services to our veterans. And we'll see where
the thing that bothers me about veterans, I'm a Canadian, but what bothers me about America and how they treat their veterans, probably Canada does the same thing, but it doesn't get
it is the same thing. And I talked to a person from England. They're on the same boat as well. In Australia, they're saying, so this list might go worldwide. I don't know. But, one guy said, oh, there is a list out there, but they charge $5,000 a year to be on this list. Well, a lot of the different groups and organizations that I've talked to, they can barely pay their cell phone bills, never mind paying $5,000. So I am I'm charging them $10 a month, $100 a year. And if they can't afford it, I'm going to donate one of my stories so they can raffle it off to cover the cost of the $100. I just think it's such a needed service, that.
Well, what bothers me is that in the media, like in movies, the veterans, like the war heroes, these people are superstars. They're idolized, but when they come home, they're shunned.
Yep.
No, I don't understand that. In
Yeah,
fantasy world, they love them, but in reality, they don't want to look at them. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
That's why
it doesn't make sense.
That's why veteran suicide is so high. Why the number 22, that's the national U.S. average of how many veterans kill themselves each day. I mean, it could be higher,
disgusting.
It could be a little lower, but 22 is kind of what everybody agrees on, which is why I wrote the song 22 about how that plays out. And I kind of do a storytelling in my song. First, I start with the Vietnam draft. A kid right out of high school was drafted and he had to see things supposedly in the name of liberty. And then friends of his died, so he had guilt, remorse for being the one left alive. And then I jumped forward to Afghanistan, where a lady volunteers and has injuries from an IED going off, and then gets denied her disabilities from the VA and stuff. And these are the common problems a lot of the veterans have. But we're trained to do stuff, and then once we come back, it's like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
So I just put the post where I did the announcement on Tuesday. I'm calling it Veteran Tuesday. Every Tuesday is now going to be Veteran Tuesday from Santa Papa John. So that's the poster that I created. And it just gives you a brief explanation of what I'm doing. So I need everybody to share this post with everybody that they can, because I think this is a very positive mission that I need to undertake. And the reality is, I'm Canadian like you, Morry, and, but people kept telling me and talking to me. And I said to my wife, I said, somebody's telling me something that I need to start something, and what does Santa have to do with veterans? Absolutely nothing. But the reality of it is this list needs to be built to help our veterans. And Dan, like you said, 22, and that's the old number. I've been hearing it's closer to 44 now, which is 44 too many. If we
Santa, who's the best person to make a list?
Well, that's what people are telling me, Yeah. So I'm going to step up to the plate and put my 2 cents worth in and see if I can create this list to help our veterans.
That's wonderful.
I just want to quick share something while it's quiet here for a moment. But I was watching Jim Carrey talk about depression, and he was stating that depression is really when your body is in a deep rest, deep rest. So I'm going to sign off now. It's a little noisy here. I'll be listening. So share that with you when you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marianne. So I guess Morry and Dan, I mean, and everybody else on here, if we all step up to the plate and do our 2 cents worth, you know, we're going to make this world a better place one step at a time. But it's amazing how many people will not take that first step.
Mhm.
They have to, they freedom of choice, right? You can't
Yeah.
push it on people. If you're inspired to say something, you say it. They have to be inspired to listen and then to reimagine it and then act on it. That's their business. You know, even if you're in a beautiful relationship, I'm sure you have a great relationship with Mrs. Claus. Okay. And, but the thing is, you're not responsible to make her happy. She's not responsible to make you happy. We're only responsible for our own happiness when a push comes to shove. So do what you're inspired to do. Take care of what you're inspired to take care of, and don't judge others when they don't, because they're in a different
absolutely.
place. And you know, I consider everybody in their own universe, even though it looks like we're all in the same universe because we're talking. I don't think so. I think we're all in a different universe. Different things mean different things to different people. Words, colors, you know, everything, looks, everything means different things to different people. Quantum physics says nothing exists until it's observed. Well, if you observe something one way and I observe it a different way, does that mean I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong and or you're right and I'm wrong? No, it means we're both right because we're seeing our own universe.
We've realized that there's something there that decision needs to be made about.
Yeah, and then we come up with our own solutions, our own ideas. That's why we have different people. We have different musicians, we have different scientists, we have different people of all ilks. And that's because they're all necessary, they're all valuable. One isn't better than another or more powerful than another. Everybody's needed. That's why they're here.
Right.
When you're no longer needed, you go to whatever's next because that's where you're needed. So you go there.
And that statement right there, Morry, is the power of any statement out there. It's you have a choice in your life, and you can either act on it or not act on it. That's like getting out of bed in the morning. Are you going to be a miserable, cranky old cuss, or are you going to be a happy, joyful person and share happiness with the people? You know, Emily gets out of bed in the morning. Well, do I want to go to work today or not? Well, if she doesn't go to work, she's going to really tick off a lot of people, but she's going to bring a lot of happiness to a lot of people when she decides to go to work and do the great job that she does. It's those little things, Morry and Dan and Marianne, and of course, Kurt, that we all do to make this world a better place, but we have to take action. We have to take the steps, and we don't have to just think about how we can change it, because thinking doesn't do anything until there's action.
100% true. Well said. Gentlemen and ladies, I have to fly. I promised my wife I would take her some places this afternoon before it gets too late and everything closes. But I want to say, first of all, I want to thank Emily and Kurt for inviting me here. It was a total surprise, but wow, what a good time. And what good people too. So Marianne, Dan, Santa, I've met you before. Marianne, maybe your name seems familiar. Dan, not, but I'd love to hear some of your music. So I joined up to your YouTube and I marked it, let me know everything. So hopefully the next time you post something, it'll be musical in nature. I'll be able to check it out. And for everybody out there in YouTube land, have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whatever it might be for you when you happen to be watching this. So thanks, everybody. And keep in touch, guys. Let me know when you need me to fill some void for you. I'm happy to do so.
Appreciate it, Morry. Thank you. Nice words.
You guys too. Take care. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye all.
There we go. What's new and exciting, Dan? What happened in your world this week?
I'm heading to a veteran event in a little while that I'm going to do a ruck march about PTSD awareness and veteran suicide. So they're going to allow me to sing my song also. So
Good, good.
what I got today.
There you go. I put the post in the chat. It's on LinkedIn. So if you want to share that to anybody of you, any of your friends, I would appreciate it. Like I say, I'm not out to get rich off this list. I think it's a much needed service, and it goes along with the 22 a day. You know, if they were able to find the services that they needed, or if they were able to find someone to talk to. You know, a lady asked me yesterday, are you going to allow maybe healers onto this list, or psychiatrists? I says, absolutely. If those kind of people are needed to talk to these veterans, to talk to different people, just to give them the ability to give them an out. You know, I go back to just before Christmas, I met a young soldier, 25 years old. I met him on TikTok and we created a relationship. And he wanted me to make a video for his family because he said he couldn't say the words to his family. I said, absolutely. Here's my phone number. Anytime you want to talk day or night, I really don't care. You know, so I made this video for him, and it was, he wanted me to say some certain words, but he couldn't do. 25 years old then, and he'd already done 4 tours and he had signed up to the 5th one. I said, when was the last time you seen a psych? Well, I'm on the list, but it's going to be 4 months, and I'm probably going to be already back deployed already in 4 months. So it keeps building up and building up in them, and it doesn't give them a chance to get rid of the explosive whatever turmoil that they have already in their brain cells. There's Leon just joining us, and Derek as well. Welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Hey, pretty good. How's it going, Santa?
It's going one day at a time, Leon. I'm just telling everybody I'm creating a list. If you didn't hear me last week, I finally took the step, and I'm creating a list for all our veterans, for companies and organizations that provide services to our veterans. And it's called the Warriors Beacon of Hope.
I definitely want to get that information because I'm working with a gentleman that's working with veterans installing water treatment plants from one of the manufacturers that I'm working with. So send me that and I'll send it to him because he's actually working with veterans doing installations of water treatment plants.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll make sure you get the some information.
Other than that, everything's going great. And we're getting ready to send a big shipment out of water filters to the Hopi and Navajo reservation next week. And we're going to do a photo shoot. So we're going to have enough water filters that we custom made for over 4,000 children and their families to have clean water. And we're giving a big event October the 5th. And it's going to be part of Oktoberfest at the Kirkland Eagles Club with a band called The Real Deal fundraiser for the Hopi and Navajo. So things have been going great on my end.
Awesome. And Derek's joined too.
Derek's not doing anything exciting. He's an accountant.
Derek. Well, are numbers exciting, Derek?
Only when they enter my bank account.
Well, you know, you can't add them up if they're not in your bank account.
This is true. This is true.
So
what's new with you, Derek? Long time no
Well,
see.
yeah, just been we had a huge storm in Tucson, and so the one time we had a tornado in Tucson, it hit my house. So just been bouncing around and trying to get that taken care of. So it's been taking up a lot of time. But the second tax season is coming up. So that's keeping me pretty busy. So everyone who didn't file on April 15th is now very concerned about filing by October 15th.
I bet.
I hope everything goes well.
Yeah. Yeah,
with your house and stuff. So
it's a
parents for
beautiful
that.
fall day in Arizona. It's going to be a lovely autumnal 110 today.
Boy.
And it's it's
Sounds
good.
like
Have some
2 weeks ago.
what part of the country are you at?
I'm in South Texas. We were in 115 most days.
Yeah, I travel to Houston a lot. It's not pretty. I like that it's 80 degrees, but the heat index puts it at 110 with the humidity.
Mhm.
But have some training classes available. Some of them are free, teaching like accounting and different office products. So that's always something to jump into. And have one coming up for just different people that we've met along the way that I would say that either I enjoy their products, so it's actually something I use, or I trust them as good people. So we have a job fair coming up online on September 16th. If anyone's looking for like part-time income or anything like that, these will be people that, like I said, I use their products, so I actually enjoy them, or they're just good people that I trust that are not just trying to suck people into some kind of scheme that actually work. And it's good opportunities. We're promoting it as a retirement opportunities, but it's good for anyone looking for a part-time job or someone who has to stay at home or who isn't really finding a lot of job opportunities. It's usually low barrier entry financially to buy into. Like we're going to have a life insurance person, and life insurance, depending on your state, you can start your business with about $300 to $500. So it's all doable. Like I said, it's all people that we probably know, so they're trustworthy people. Um, so I think that's a little different and beneficial instead of just hearing, "Hey, come sell this thing for me." These are people that we know and actually are more often than not are selling their product not for the financial compensation, but because they really believe in it and it's helped them and that's what drives them. So trying to collect those people together, because we've all been in meetings where someone's trying to sell us the magic cream or, hey, you can make $3 million by doing nothing. And I have yet to see one of those things actually pan out. It usually requires work. So just gathering trusted people to provide opportunities.
You
Awesome.
mean the
Has-
magic
has
button
this-
doesn't work? Oh, sorry, Emily. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Xana.
I was just saying, you mean the magic button doesn't work, Dirk?
I keep pushing it and nothing keeps happening. So I'm gonna maybe it's because I have to press it 5,000 more times. It's my fault. It's not the button. Oh, look at that.
Derek,
Kurt actually exists.
Lucky you. Lucky you. In spades.
Leon, I just sent you a message on LinkedIn.
Perfect. I'll definitely check that out. And another good thing, we're also going to Hawaii on the 10th to work with Mariana's folks to hopefully deliver a water unit and to do a presentation with Water Flow Whale, her puppets, and talk about that whole bundle package. And we're still working with the private equity company that will be putting her products into those stores that they're going to be opening up. So they're on the last stretch of that. And that should be happening by the end of September, October. So things are looking great. And I'll check that out on LinkedIn and I'll forward it to one of the manufacturers who's working with veterans. So that's perfect.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And I seen it pop up on my screen. So I'll get to it later for sure.
What's going on in Kurt's world? You had a water ski show you were going to today. Oh no, it's a wrap-up party, isn't it?
It is a wrap-up party to our 40th year celebrations, 40 years of the Pewaukee Lake Water Ski Club. west of Milwaukee. I joined the club 38 years ago, and my brother found the club at its beginnings and enjoyed skiing with this club starting 39 years ago. And so he and I were able to ski together, perform at water ski shows together. I even did a comedy act where I kicked off my skis over the jump about 30 years ago, and my brother comes up behind and he's doing the same act, but the pickup boat did not pick up my ski. And unfortunately for him, the fin was facing up. So he too is kicking off his skis. He was doing the comical waving his feet. He landed right on that fin and sliced his foot with all of his comical antics. So he went from fun to owie that day. But yeah, a lot of memories with the Pewaukee
Hospital visit real quick. I'm sure that did a little slice that was bigger than a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was a pretty good gash for him. So, but he made it through. He suffered through, and so it's the price we pay to entertain folks, like right here at the World of Ability podcast. And so yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up what we've been working on since last November to deliver the Barbie themed show that Emily was at on Labor Day. And she put up, what was it, Emily? About a half a dozen videos. She did a lot of different segments, including before the show began. And so facebook.com, look up Emily Gomer, your podcast engineer, go into her video section and take a look for videos that have a thumbnail video that looks like it's at a lakefront park. And that's Emily taking footage of the Pewaukee Lake Water Ski Show featuring Barbie. Right.
I've actually watched a few of those videos, Emily. So they're not nothing. There were some very good videos.
Thank you. I'm glad they turned out.
Is
But
Kurt
Derek,
dressed up as Barbie in any of them?
yeah, Barbie's in them. Yep.
Yeah, even ugly Barbie, Derek.
I
Or actually,
Yeah, we are
it's
weird
crazy
Barbie.
actually.
Weird Barbie, yeah.
Weird Barbie. I was announcing one night and I called her that. I'm like, here comes ugly Barbie. And she comes up to me, it's actually weird Barbie. Like, I hope I didn't insult you too much. Ah, man. That's entertainment, folks.
That's the old proverbial boot in the foot or boot in the mouth.
Yeah. Wait, say that again. Boot in the foot?
I like
Yes.
that though. I like
Oh,
boot
did you
in
get
the
it?
foot.
Get it?
You know,
Boot
did
in
you
the
get
foot, maybe.
foot in your mouth. Is that what the proverbial is? You put your foot in your mouth?
Well, when Emily says she's threatening to give me the boot, like she's like, "Do you need the boot?" I don't think it's going to my mouth or anywhere else. I think it's going right to the tuchus, as some of the.
Yeah, Kurt, I was gonna ask you if you got the boot from Barbie with calling her that.
Oh, and a whole lot more. It was a wrestling.
There you go.
Yeah, but it was foot and mouth syndrome. Absolutely.
So Derek, has the school year started for you guys?
Yep, we started 2 weeks ago. So we do our opening week and then we send the kids off for a week break.
Oh,
But
okay.
a lot of it is to give them time to read. So this semester they are reading, what are they reading? A book called Bless Me Ultima, and then they're reading Huckleberry Finn. So we tend to, every time Arizona bans a book, we always assign it. So those are two banned books that Arizona has. And so when Arizona bans a book, we assign them to the students to read and we discuss what their feelings are. And Huckleberry Finn has already started a very interesting conversation because of the time it uses the N word a lot. And so we've been having some actually very insightful conversations on that. And if you give students a complicated topic to talk about, they usually respond very well in a very adult way and have a conversation. And that's what we try to do is, so we're having some rich conversation on that. And, they're learning, which I like. So, and they're also starting businesses this semester. So if you know any business owners who are willing to sponsor a business, so it's usually about $100 just to give students an opportunity to go out in the real world. They're actually going to have to create a product, pitch it, and then try to sell it. So they just can't come up with some big idea. It has to be something they can go and do. And we had one student a few years ago. She's still doing her business. She had chickens. So she was selling eggs. And she is in college now, and she's putting herself through college by selling her eggs.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And even those that don't continue on, they learn what it takes, that it isn't the fancy stuff on TV of I'm going to start a business and make $1 billion. It's hard work. So they're having to go to networking events and talk to people. And, so they're getting introduced to what it takes to run a business. So it'll be fun.
Hey, Emily, that sounds like the headline for today's show. College students gets through selling her eggs.
I
The
think you
reality of that, Derek,
might
is
need some more detail in that one.
I'm talking headline. Isn't that what they do with headlines? You say
Right?
like out of context like that?
Get that clickbait going.
But the reality of that, Derek, is it gives, I'm assuming these are teenagers.
Yeah.
It gives them the ability to understand business before they graduate school. That's like writing a checkbook or, balancing a checkbook. They're going to have to understand dollars and cents before they get out of high school, which we all know our school system lacks
Yeah.
considerably amounts when it comes to natural things that we need to do, not only to run a business, but to run a household.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think it has a lot to just having the awareness too. So like, again, like if you watch movies or anything, like it's always, I'm going to start a business. And then they have a lot of money coming in and fancy offices. Let's do the reality of what it really takes. And the reality that there are things, kind of like with the job fair that we're putting on, there are things you can get into that don't require millions of dollars to buy a building, that don't, I mean, even what you're doing, like, hey, I can make you Santa certified. Like, there are ideas out there that aren't going to require you to put thousands of dollars that you may or may not have out front, that you can start building a business. And I'm a big fan of like MLMs because it gives you a low barrier of entry to buy into, whatever their little membership fee is. And then you get to see what you really have to do to run a business, the hustle, the networking. And then if you like that, then you can move on to another step and move those skills over to something a little more traditional. So it's letting them know both from what they can do and what the experience is, so that when they don't go into some place, well, why is this food taking so long? Well, all the different little gears that are going on to run a business now. Like, maybe have a little empathy for business owners and what they're going through, because it's not so simple to just say you should hire more people.
Now, is this open to any student that is excited about it, or do you encourage certain students to apply? How does the procedure work for getting the kids actually involved?
So we're actually a private school in Arizona, because we get funded in Arizona. We still get, as a private school, you get 90% of the funding, but have to follow no rules. It's an amazingly horrible law. I don't understand it, but I'm going to take advantage of it. But if you know any teenagers that are not part of our school, we will take them in. We just want to see kids that are excited about learning. If there is a kid out there that wants to learn, we will take them in, and we'll we'll find out some way to get them credit, or even so, like we'll even have students from other states that serve as our interns, and we'll tell them, hey, now you can create whatever fancy title you want on your resume, and we'll go and we'll teach them Excel so that they can put that on their resume. And if there's someone willing to learn, we will provide as much benefit to them as we can.
What a wonderful program. It needs to be implemented in many more schools across this country.
Mhm. We're trying. I'm trying to take care of my 6 feet around me.
Absolutely.
I also say when I take over the world, things will, well, they'll be much worse because I'll be in charge.
Uh-huh.
Derek. But we are getting kind of near our end of today's episode. So thank all of you for joining us, and for Marianne and for Morry, who joined us a little bit ago. But okay, maybe if you don't have any last thoughts or last comments or questions. You could start with Dan. Any last questions, comments?
Not really. Just hopefully some people will hear my message and click on the like and subscribe. And like I said, still trying to do things for veterans. You can check my website, www.danwesley.com. In fact, this is one of my shirts that I offer on my website with the 22 message and the soldiers memorial with the flag behind. And just got to get more help for our vets out there, no matter what it is. Any type of volunteers, do it if you have a chance to volunteer at the VA or any kind of veteran assistance programs, things like that, because they really can use the help.
Absolutely.
Leon?
Yeah. Like I said, everything's going really great with our October, the second show at the Kirkland Eagles Club, and Oktoberfest that we're going to tie in for the Waterford children for the Hopi and Navajo Reservation, along with what we're going to be sending them next week with these water filters for 4,000 children to have water, and we'll be doing a photo shoot. And I'll talk to the manufacturers that working with veterans on the water treatment plants, and pass that information on to those manufacturers. And we're working from there with Santa had just said. So things are going good on our end. Shows coming up, Hawaii trip with Mariana and the Puppets, the private equity company. And it's amazing when he said about these kids learning, because it's just like how we're learning with the private equity company, how to do big deals that they don't teach you in college. So for a kid to do, I know what to do, those 5 magic words, and to actually do it, coming up with these great ideas, because these young kids got some brilliant ideas. So I think that's great. And if I know any teenagers, I will definitely pass, the word out for sure. But everything's going good on this end, and we'll be doing the photo shoot.
Wonderful.
Sounds good. Derek?
All right. So what question can I ask? All right. So train leaves Philadelphia at 76 miles per hour. An airplane leaves Los Angeles heading. So I just put in a link into the chat room. Those are various classes that I offer. If you use that code WOA21, what I'll do is not only will you get a discount to the class it charges, but we will offer a scholarship to any veteran to sign up for free. And so if there's a veteran out there wanting to learn like Excel skills, we have that available. Or any kind of, and feel free to any kind of job improvement, career improvement classes that we can offer. But WOA 21 will get you in to the classes that are charging, but we'll also give a free scholarship to a veteran. And hopefully that can be our little way to help out there.
Awesome. Thank you, Derek. Santa.
Just let's share what we learn and how we can help each other out. You know, my veteran list, it's going to start growing. I'm pretty excited to see where that's going to go. Santa approved my stories. You know, if you know a family that's down and out, or that can help, that could do a story, I'd love to make a story for people. And you know, we need to all step up and help people just by giving them a smile, by saying hello, thanking a veteran. You know, a lot of people are scared to even say hello to people these days. That attitude needs to change. We need to get back to being friendly people in this country, because there are a lot of people that don't have conversations with real people every day. And if we all just step up to the plate and say, "Hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day today," what kind of door are you going to open for that next person?
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
awesome.
How they say amen, Santa.
Thank you.
Kurt, do you have any last things you like to say?
I think that said
Kurt,
it all. I think that's a good note.
Kurt, Mr. Oskov.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
also trying to keep him quiet.
Oh.
I think that helps the world out as well.
All right. Well, Emily, are you ready to accept an assignment?
Oh no, what's the excitement? What is it, Kurt?
Well, you know a gentleman by the name of Ed Garza, don't you, Emily?
Yes.
Ed
Yes.
Garza is out of Tennessee, and he brings us a lot of resources to build businesses like Derek was talking about. And so Edwin Edberry, our Chief Happiness Officer from the Happy Neighborhood Project, is putting this out there from the Happy Neighborhood Project. Everything your business needs in one AI platform. Look at this. We got video ads, email marketing, scroll stopping ads, video scripts, magic hooks. I think I was kind of using a hook with the eggs there, but an image editor and royalty-free images. Look at this. Hyper realistic images, long form articles, social media, blogs, and writing. So this is all available at hmpaiplatform.com. It's got the button there that you can sign up and go to town with everything you need in AI on one platform. Brought to us by Ed Garza and made available through the Happy Neighborhood Project. So, Emily, with this launching, Ed would like to have an Emily Gomer Invitational Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and you can schedule that through his scheduler that you have, Emily, right?
Yeah. I mean, as in like to go through it with him, or
As in everybody on the screen, everybody listening, come one, come all. And Ed Garza is going to go through it, and you're going to get the behind the scenes insights that perhaps nobody else gets to see. Thanks to you, Emily. If you accept the challenge, are you going to take the assignment, Emily? Are you going to do the mission impossible? This podcast will self-destruct in 3 minutes. Emily, are you going to take it out? Are you going to create the invitation sometime between Monday and Wednesday? It'll be booked in, and everybody will know when it is, and hop on with Ed Garza.
yeah, I'll reach out to Ed and schedule something. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Emily. And then we want to also share the Stu and Lori Variety Hour. Santa Papa John shared how Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward. Let's go on there, communitypayitforward.us. So there's going to be a telethon by Community Pay It Forward. I believe I heard in December.
Yeah.
And also the Stu and Lori Variety Hour through the stewandlorivarietyhour.com. Also gonna have a telethon. So December is for sure gonna be all about our nonprofits. And we are collaborating with Stu to really come into what he's doing in his professional TV production and helping us take our game to a whole new level with the game of reaching millions of people. Very exciting. And Emily is right in the middle of it. And we're bringing in our friends Alan Holmes and Christian Mendez with EC Marketing for All. And it's a collaboration that's open to everybody. So contact Emily, contact me. My phone number is 262-372-1754. Email me, Kurt, Kurt, at spiritofthegame.org. With that, back to you, Emily. Thank you.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us. And again, we are here every Saturday at 1:00 Central, and we'd love to have everybody come back and or join us. So if you're interested, please let me know. Can get that taken care of. Also, love to everybody to check out our social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on. And also to check out our wonderful organizations as partners of the PAC channel, the Disability channel, with Jace Joy, and the PAC channel is at Clayton, who we were just talking about. Earl Williams, who has been on here before, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios. Those organizations are doing great work. So encourage everybody to check them out too. But until next week, to have a safe and productive week and to stay happy.